This is Abe Friedtanzer from Awards Buzz. I'm very excited to be speaking with Bridget Everett and Mary Catherine Garrison about Somebody Somewhere. How are you both doing today?
Great. How are
Oh,
you?
we're good.
I'm good. I'm good. Bridget, it's nice to see you again. And Mary
You
Catherine, nice to
too.
speak with you for the first time.
To see you, Abe.
I have loved watching the relationship between Sam and Tricia evolve over the course of this show. And I'm curious how much of that is reflected in your own dynamic.
We
Well,
actually don't like each other at all. So awkward.
no, we were roommates for a number of years, and I think we we love each other. I guess it's just as simple as that. I hate to
Yeah.
sorry to be so upfront, but but it's fun. It's really fun to play like when Sam and Trisha are fighting, or when they're kind of trying to find their footing with each other. It's Mary Catherine's just the best person to be in a scene with. She makes it so easy and so fun, and you feel I feel like she elevates the game.
Well, Bridget and I were laughing that when before our first day on set together, how nervous we both secretly were to act together because, all we've done is live together so far. And so it was really wonderfully surprising how effortless it was and how we just slid right into it. And there was no giggling, or it was just very in the moment and very what's exactly what you want to happen when you're doing a scene. You want just, you're both there, all the other stuff is not important, and we just zeroed in on the scene. And that's how it's always been. It's been just effortless and satisfying and joyful
And cutie,
and very kitty.
kitty.
Do you always stick to the script, or is there some improv in there also?
I think
I
it's
think we're go ahead.
a lot of the script, but we have room to sort of mess around, and kind of we just want it to feel like real and very conversational. And but there's a Mary Catherine had such a great improv in episode 304 that became the episode title. So
What is it?
um, what if it spreads? You'll have to watch the episode to know what I'm talking about.
I've seen it. I've seen it. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I feel like season two was all about the pillows. And season three, we're not seeing that as much, going a little bit deeper, and especially seeing as Trisha is really trying to come into her own element. What has that been like
Mhm.
for you, Mary Catherine, to explore?
Oh my God. Well, I mean, imagine this woman who is could not be feeling herself more than she is at the start of the season, and then to get slammed into the brick wall of what happens in episode 4 is, I mean, when I read that, I couldn't believe that I get to do that as an actor. I think there's something about that that is so hilarious and humbling and humiliating, and takes her to this really weird dark place. And after that high of like this businesswoman mentality, she's taken on this persona. It was, the way the writers have written to our strengths and our voices, and just this smorgasbord of stuff they give us to play with and explore is just, again, here I go, it's a gift, blessing. It's
And
just
also,
is
I'll say, well, sorry, I cut you off, Mary Catherine, but
no,
when
no.
we were dreaming up about like what was going to happen in that episode, and
Mm-hmm.
when well, I was like, I think I better run this by Mary Catherine, make sure she's okay with this, playing like what happens to her in that episode. And she was like, great.
I don't care.
Sometimes some people don't always want to roll with things like that. Mary Catherine's like, yeah, do it.
Let's do it. Let's double down.
Yeah.
I like the fact even just that you're both paired for this interview, because I feel like season one and two that wouldn't have felt as appropriate, just because you're working more with other characters and everything. And so it's fun to see that after everything it's come this way. And I know that one of the reasons I spoke to Hannah and Paul that your storylines have come together so much is because of Mike Haggerty's death, and that family has been a
Mm.
big focus on the storyline.
Yeah, I think, when Mike died, we'd had season two written, we were ready to go. We were kind of trying to recalibrate. So it's been kind of a constant theme, or something we've worked on, is like how to keep him kind of present, but also how to keep the family dynamic, because it's, your friends are important, and that is, I think Joel and Sam are such a central part of the story, but but it's also how you navigate your real family, your flesh and blood, as you're growing. And I think and Mary Catherine can really do anything, so we get to just write whatever, and she just comes and nails it on the day, and that's just come on, come on, that's a gift.
Well, I
Oh,
like that just as Sam likes Brad, the fact that Trisha and Joel get along, I think, is very important because if that wasn't the
Yeah.
case, I
yeah.
think we'd have a lot more pricklier moments that this show is fortunately so devoid of, which is really fantastic.
Well, Joel loves everybody. Joel's a bringer together. You know?
Yeah.
So he has room for Trisha in his heart.
I do think that the show is so heartwarming and so lovely, but there are still just these moments of devastation and sadness that kick in, which, as a viewer, it's just really incredible to see. How do you prepare for those kind of sort of stark transitions and make them, work with the rest of the comedy?
Um, Go ahead, Bridget.
Well, I think the way that our schedule went, like just based on like we shot, it was a very low budget show, so we sort of had to shoot location based. So sometimes you're like in the at 8 a.m. after breakfast, you're like ha ha Tybo, and then at 10 a.m. you're just like ugh. So there's like I think you just kind of have to kind of in a way it's kind of nice that it all moves so quickly because you don't have time to get in your head and overthink anything, and we all feel so comfortable with each other that you just kind of get there, your lines, and you roll the dice and hope for the best.
Yeah. I like to say my acting strategy, my process is let her rip, and that's literally it. Like I try to know the
That's
lines,
true.
and then I just show up and like I wonder what's going to happen. And sometimes it works, and sometimes you need a little nudging in a different direction. But that's how life is, though. Like you can be laughing one moment and then in a rage 10 minutes later. So you just got to be, you got to stay loose, got to stay. And the writing is so good that they make it that easy to do.
It's been great to see both of you on the show for 3 seasons, and I'm curious what's next for you. Do you know what you're doing? Are you going to work together again?
No, do you know
Well,
what we're doing? I'd love to know.
yeah. Do you know what? I'm gonna lay in the dark and for a couple months, maybe 6 months, and see if anything rolls in, and then if it doesn't, then I'm gonna start dreaming up the next thing. What about you, Mary Catherine?
Bridget, yeah, I don't have anything lined up, and the things that have sort of come my way, it's part of the sadness of this show being over and having had your dream job is nothing. Everything pales in comparison.
Yeah.
So you read things and you're like, why would I go away from my family and do that when I don't know, like this was always a dream job, and I was never questioning leaving my family for it. So anyway, the answer is I don't know, and I'm also going to lay in the dark with Bridget. We'll be texting each other probably for the next 6 months.
I think, Bridget, last time we talked, season 2 was airing like after Succession, and I was like, people just have to keep their TVs on and watch something
Right.
radically different. But what can we do to get more eyeballs in the show? Because everybody I know who's seen the show loves it, but most
Yeah,
people I know haven't seen the show. So,
yeah.
what's the hook? What is this show like? How can
I
people get excited about it?
I just don't know. I think it's word of mouth, honestly. I think that's it. And people have to just like tell their friends, keep insisting their friends that they watch, talking to you, talking to people. Like, we're just going to keep talking and hope that it catches fire. It's never too late for people to fall in love with the show or find it. But I do hope they find it sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like anything else, but is there something that you would say if someone's like, if they've seen this or this, somebody somewhere is the right show for them?
Yeah, I just don't think you can't really say that because I don't know what you would say. I don't know.
I mean, I hear Schitt's Creek a lot. I think we're so different from that show. I love Schitt's Creek, but it's not. It's very different. Very different. I don't know. I don't think that's why this show is so remarkable.
I
It's
don't have an
singular.
answer either. That's why I asked it.
Your
But I
question,
think
Abe.
I think if anybody's watched anything, this is the show for them. Maybe that's the hook, right?
Do
I like it.
you like things? This is for you.
If you like these three, well, thank you both so much, and good luck. I look forward to seeing what you do once you crawl out of the dark hole, whenever from now.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Abe. Nice to meet you.